We are back with another rear wheel drive Evo video. We're making big moves with very limited time before LZ Fest. We're about 3 weeks out and we still have a lot to do. But today is a very, very cool video. We're kind of retracing steps on things we've already done, but it is for good reason. And that is because our friends at Raceworks have come on board with the build, which is just absolutely phenomenal. So with builds like this, they cost a lot of money, and small channels like mine, it's always a struggle, right? I'm constantly watching the budget, money coming in and out of the bank, and it's always just a juggling act basically. And when a brand like Raceworks comes on board and helps out, it's basically a dream come true for someone like me. So I'm freaking excited. So I got on the phone with Scott from Raceworks and he helped me out. I am quite a novice when it comes to fuel systems, right? So if you guys remember a couple episodes ago, we fitted the fuel cell and the surge tank in the boot of our rear wheel drive Evo. So this is a secondhand fuel cell that I had sitting on the shelf for money saving purposes basically. But Raceworks have hooked us up in a massive way. Check this out. So we have a complete fuel system here for our CA18 motor in our rear wheel drive Evo. Honestly, I'm absolutely blown away by this. We have fuel pumps, we have all the fittings that we need. We have fuel injectors, fuel pump brackets, and they hooked us up with a brand new fuel cell and surge tank for this thing. So the boot is gonna be looking absolutely insane. I'm still pretty speechless, to be honest. So I wanna say a massive thank you to Raceworks, and I'm absolutely frothing to get the stuff in the car. First things first, let's remove this fuel cell and kind of suss where we're gonna go with this. Again, I'm a novice with this stuff, so luckily Bailey is here to help me out. Bailey, do you know much about fuel cells and fuel systems?
Fuel cells, no. Fuel systems, a little bit. Enough to get me by.
Bailey's actually here to finish wiring the car. That includes the fuel pumps, so it's kind of good timing. We've got all the body lube and stuff down here that just needs to be kind of finalized and finished off. Obviously, as you guys know, this thing runs. Yeah, there's that.
Spaghetti.
There's a little bit of wiring in the car as well that Bailey's gonna take care of. That'll allow me to move forward in the next couple of days and put the carpet and stuff in the car. So we're making massive moves, but I got Bailey here, he's a genius, so when I muck up the fuel system, he can correct me and tell me to do it right. I'm so freaking pumped, let's go. Suss how much better this looks instantly with these two things in here. Actually, I wonder if I should have that around that way for the Raceworks logo. And then we grab this, which holds our fuel pump, because we're kind of figuring out where everything's kind of gonna be located. So the battery is going to go in this back corner. So let's just place everything where it's gonna go, just so we get a bit of an idea about how it's all gonna look. So this is how it's gonna be. And then Bailey comes in and does his wizardry with his relay. Well,
Can't forget your schnozzle.
oh yeah, the schnozzle. The schlong? Is that the 90?
Is that the...
Wait, you gotta push this thing down. And then you can- Which is perfect. So they send us out this thing, which like is a 45 degree. Is that 45 degrees? It is yeah. Let's just say it is. Because look, it's kind of annoying how it's like under the shelf, but this fixes that. How freaking good. And I kind of like it. It's got that fancy cap on it. Stoked.
It's a race car.
I know, it's full race car spec. The poor E36 Pro car is sitting outside, and this like rear wheel drive Evo build with a CA18 is getting all of the good treatment. Hey guys, I haven't had a new fuel system for like 3 years now. Can you send me one? Sorry, mate. So we're gonna do this. Oh no.
Close the roller door.
Yeah, close the door on it. You're outside. Anyway, now we have to kind of figure out the wiring side of things, and that's what Bailey's done. What's your fancy thing? Hey, you haven't even shown people your haircut. Look at it.
Cam Martin cut this.
Did Cam actually cut it? Wow.
Butchered me, dude. So just a little relay holder with fused relays.
These things, what are these?
These are resettable fuses. These are the coolest thing in the world.
So when they blow, they don't blow?
Yeah, so you pop your fuse, as long as they disconnect from power, so you turn your key off, they'll reset themselves automatically, and then key back on and they're good to go.
That's
again.
crazy.
Yeah, they don't blow. So it's $7, so like it's steep for a fuse, but...
How many fuses can you buy for $7, normal ones?
Depends where you're buying them. If
10.
you're on eBay or AliExpress, maybe a few. But you never have to swap them.
Yeah, exactly right.
One and done. Do it once, do it right.
Exactly, and that's what we're doing. Man, this is crazy. All right, so we've got to fit the fuse block. There's 2 fuses for both fuel pumps.
So it's going to go on this top right corner here. We're going to run the mains power just down here, probably in some little conduit to protect it. Always, if you're going to run like a feed from your battery, always wrap it in conduit, because if that stuff shorts out, especially near a large
flammable device.
you're gonna have a bad time.
Yes, especially E85 as well. Yeah, we'll be as safe as absolutely possible with this thing because we need the Fevo to live for a long time.
Yeah.
Cue the video of someone borrowing the car at LZ Fest and binning it into the wall. No, not gonna happen. We're pretty happy with the location of everything now, so now we have to go ahead and fit this stuff permanently. So what I'm thinking is, we'll go ahead and mount the fuel cell, rev nuts, and the surge tank as well. And then we'll pull it all out and we're gonna spray the boot black. I want this like all looking super shiny. Well, not shiny actually, it's satin black, but all brand new so that when we fit all of our nice new parts, it's gonna just look absolutely gorgeous in here. And then we'll shut the boot and no one will ever see it, which is awesome. But we'll know it's there and that's the most important thing. I actually need to weld the top hats here for the coilovers, which are like our reinforcements. These are actually E36 reinforcement plates from Two Step Garage, but we modified them, dremeled them out a bit, and they're gonna work perfectly for our Lancer. So we'll reinforce those top hats as well. There's just a lot of things to do. Let's get working. While Bailey was doing his wizardry in the boot, I decided to fab up our battery bracket. I pretty much had to use all of my brain's capacity to measure 4 pieces of angle iron with 45-degree angles on each end. I put those together to make a rectangle box and welded them all up. Then I welded that in the boot, and while I was at it, I welded the reinforcements to the top of our shock towers as well. So we are making some great progress on the boot of our car. I have completed the fab work, so our beautiful battery bracket is here, and we've welded the strut tops onto our towers. So that is basically all the fab work we need to do in the boot of the car, other than of course mounting the actual fuel cell itself. We're going to use riv nuts for the surge tank and for the brackets for the fuel pump, but of course under the fuel cell once again we're going to use nuts welded onto the bottom. So what I've done is I've made a template right here out of cardboard that's got the holes in them, so that we don't have to keep putting the fuel cell in and out. And then we're gonna run the template onto that, drill our holes. So you just grab the template like so. The old bolts that we had in from our old fuel cell actually do line up pretty nicely with our template. So they're fairly similar, but the back ones don't at all because we welded custom tabs onto our last fuel cell. So what we'll do is I'm just trying to figure out whether we will actually just use these front holes. I just want to make sure that it's all perfectly lined up inside our boot, of course, so everything looks beautifully centered. Alright, so that fits beautifully. Look at that nice gold hardware as well, brand new. Looks fantastic. Great positioning there. So we've got our Raceworks E85 external fuel pump here. We've got a barb fitting on this side and there will be a barb fitting on that side, and we've got the bracket as well. So basically we're just working out the positioning of where we're going to run everything. So I'll put the barb fittings also in our fuel cell. We're actually only using one of these outlets. The other one, we'll just get a blanking bung because that goes to here, that goes to here, fills this up. That is the overflow that goes to here. This, which is the fuel pump, sends to the engine. Then the return goes back into here, not into there. That would be silly. So keep the surge tank always full. Our riv nuts are now in, nice and tidy, which means now we're going to empty the boot out completely. I quickly also welded in our threaded rod that are going to hold our battery down, so that's all nice and done now. Got that in before you actually paint the boot. We're going to vacuum the boot and give it a lick of paint. Let's go! We have officially got a black boot, satin black. I think it looks wicked. Much better than the jankiness that was before. Looks pretty clean. Obviously we have a bunch of stuff to tidy up wire-wise in here, but I actually have to replace the whole boot loom because I actually fried the boot loom when we welded the cage in because I didn't realize it was sitting so close to the cage. Luckily it just unclips, so I'll just go to the wreckers and grab a new loom. It'll take me all of 5 minutes to chuck in. But for now we can install our fuel cell. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So one thing I'm most proud of on this build is that we continue to level up the work that we're doing on this channel when it comes to cars, and this might be some of my favorite work we've ever done. Check this out. Oh, absolutely beautiful. The black on black just looks so good. Brand new gold hardware. Look at this Raceworks fuel pump. Looks so good in there. I'm so stoked that everything's black. It looks awesome. So when the boot's closed, it's super unsuspecting, but then boom, look at this. Beautiful. So now we're up to the part where we get to run the fuel lines and install the fuel pump into the surge tank. So first things first, the fuel pump, it slides into this hole here and sits in the surge tank, which I think is really cool because it keeps everything super tidy. So this is our external fuel pump that goes in it. Same fuel pump that we are running here. So both the exact same fuel pumps. Very sexy looking unit. Here's a part number right here for anyone that is wondering. So because this pump is going inside the tank, we put a fitting on this side and it gets a filter just so we don't get any crap in our fuel system, or it minimizes the risk of getting any crap in the fuel system. So that just press fits onto here, and then we're gonna slip it in the hole. Team, it is finally time to install our fuel hose. Look at this, everything's ready to go. Get our 400 series push lock fuel hose and pretty much just cut it to length and push it on. It's definitely not rocket science. At the same time, we want it to look neat and tidy, so we are going to take our time and get it right. I will run hose clamps on these fittings as well. The push lock ones, I don't think you need to, but I think I'm going to anyway, just because I like the Fevo and I want it to not be on fire. We've pretty much gotten as far as we can get with the fuel setup at this current time, and I am absolutely 100% stoked on it. So check this out, absolutely awesome. So one thing I would say is, here I'm going to put a 90 instead of a straight up. So I'll go grab one of those, and then this guy will go over this side. So the last thing to put in, of course, is a rollover valve. And this has just got a ball bearing in it. It goes right here, beautifully, slips in like this, and then we put another fitting in it, just like a barb fitting, with some hose and a filter on it. And basically what that means is if the car rolls over, the ball bearing goes into the fitting so that, God forbid, the car rolls, it doesn't leak the fuel out, which would be very bad if there was some type of spark or anything like that. So basically just saves you in the event of a big incident. This will look a little bit tidier once we have the 90, and then off the top of the fuel pump here as well, I'm going to put a 90. I'm not doing the fuel lines right now because basically in the next video we'll be going under the car, putting the fuel lines in. Injectors, fuel injectors will go on the front as well. So we've got 980cc E85 compatible fuel injectors that'll go into our motor. We'll run the fuel lines into that. That'll be just a quick job, and then that'll be the fuel system fully locked off. Bailey's just got to come back and terminate these wires into the fuel pumps. I'm so happy with the job that we've done here though. This looks so good. I'm not just saying this, but this Raceworks stuff is insane. That fuel cell up there versus the guy she told you not to worry about right here. This is baffled. That one isn't. This one's beautiful, black. The tib welds are insane. Just everything about all of this stuff is freaking amazing. So I cannot wait to put it to the absolute test. That is pretty much a wrap on this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Some of the sickest work we've done so far. This thing is making progress very quickly now. The dyno churn is booked in next week, and then paint at the end of that week. So literally in 2 weeks time, this thing will be dyno tuned, it'll be painted, we can reveal the color, it's going to be absolutely insane. Still got a bunch of little things to tie off in the engine bay, power steering, alternator, stuff like that, just to get everything exactly where it needs to be. So good. Every time I come in here and look at it, I just get absolutely stoked. But that is us for this video, guys. Please, if you haven't subscribed, hit that sub button already. It helps out tremendously. I will have some stuff going up specifically on the TSG website next week. So there's some very cool stuff coming along. I've got a t-shirt currently being designed for the Fevo, which is insane. We'll probably have an E36 t-shirt available as well. So keep an eye out for that stuff. But thanks so much for watching. Until next time, guys. Peace. Bye. Fevo with an insane Raceworks fuel setup. Shout out Raceworks, you guys are the real MVPs. Bye.